I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I offer my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas on this call. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So this has been an exciting time for book distribution. We're, for the first time ever, as far as I can see, looking into a whole nother realm of expansion for distributing books and making connections with people. And we've missed it because our efforts have been half-hearted because we've been dividing our attention, obviously, to the other venues that we're getting success with. So we're seeing this as Krishna's arrangement for us to expand a whole new avenue for book distribution through the internet. Devotees are simply determined to execute the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or His representative, the spiritual master, in all circumstances, even amidst the greatest dangers, they undeviatingly carry on with the greatest determination. So here are some of the ways in which devotees have been successful in distributing books via the internet. As it turns out, and we're finding around the book distribution universe, devotees have stacks of contacts they've been collecting over time, but as I mentioned before, I've been half-heartedly following up with for lack of a follow-up system or a reason to call. And so a lot of them are pulling out their contact lists and looking into even contacts they made years ago, even up to 5 years ago, sometimes more, people who bought books or showed they were interested dusting off those lists and calling people. Other people have what's called the ATM method, which is anything that moves. They're just calling as many people as possible anywhere and making as educated a guess as they can about where the best demographics are, and they're getting results also. So calling on the phone has been really successful. And here's what a call looks like. In some communities, a lot of people who, some of them who are not even used to going on in book distribution, feel happy about making at least one contact call a day and pick and call one contact on the list and just check and see how they're doing during the pandemic and share transcendental knowledge with them. That's what they're expecting. And when they get a call from the devotee, and then we're finding that that seamlessly moves into how to share what we now have, our ebooks to share online, and also what we call contactless shipping. And I'll say more about that in just a little while. Here's a call framework. Call and introduce yourself if it's somebody that you haven't talked to for a long time, and make a personal connection. And then inform them about online programs, which is something we've been working on feverishly recently, so that we have a package to offer people when they buy a book, and not just take the book and that's it, but we want a suite of services to connect them. So we tell them about those, and then we ask if they would like the books, and we ask for donations and shipping, and then we ship contactlessly. Here's one of the programs that's been really successful. Parents are calling and saying, my child's volunteering for the ISKCON, to share the Srimad Bhagavatam this weekend with 2 families. And another, I'm volunteering for a project called Go Matsya. There's a long explanation behind that, but it's been a working program for a couple of years now. My goal is to reach 10 families each weekend. Or I'm volunteering for ISKCON Transcendental Book Distribution Initiative. So this is the initial introduction when we call people. And what we're finding are devotees sending us testimonials for how these things are working. Here's one that I'm going to play you right now.
Hare Krishna, my name is Bhakta Alex from New York, and I'm making this video in light of all the coronavirus craziness that's been going on, especially in regard to book distribution. As book distributors, we haven't been able to go outside, which is very difficult for us. And so I've been trying, like many others, to just find ways to continue doing book distribution with some success. Previously, it was mostly just messaging, texting, emailing people who either I'd met at the book table previously or I knew had some kind of interest in spirituality. And so just seeing maybe they would want either another one of Srila Prabhupada's books or they may be interested in receiving one. And with this method, I found some success, kind of sporadic though, and nothing really concrete. And it wasn't until Vaisesika Prabhu gave his class via Zoom, uh, requesting everybody listening to call one person that day and try and pitch Srila Prabhupada's books. From that day forward, I decided I would try and call at least 3 people a day and pitch Srila Prabhupada's books, just going down my contact list A to Z and not discriminating if I really knew that person that well or how personal the relationship was when I did know them or how long it's been, but just pressing the call button and seeing, what happens. So calling, first catching up with them. Are you okay with the coronavirus thing going on? Is your family safe? Of course, we all have a nice conversation starter because we could just talk about the corona, make sure everyone's okay. And then from there, segue into, well, in lieu of all the coronavirus craziness that's going on, the yoga, meditation, or wisdom center that I volunteer at is doing a special lockdown book drive in which we're mailing out copies of the original yoga, meditation, wisdom text of India that's thousands of years old. It was studied by guys like Emerson and Thoreau, Gandhi, the Beatles, Tupac, Einstein, Martin Luther King. And it's ancient spiritual wisdom all about how to get free from stress and how to be the best version of yourself. Even if you're limited externally, how to go really deep within internally.
This kid is
And
great, isn't
then
he?
from there, asking for a donation, of course, and say we accept Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle. A few older people I had contacted had asked if they could send a check in the mail, which obviously isn't ideal, but it's okay if that's their only option. And then receiving their mailing address, and then either once a week or as many times as you'd like, going to the post office, being very safe, of course, with mask, gloves, and such, and shipping them out. And by this method, I found immense success, not only in the ratio of people who I've called and who've actually taken books, but in how grateful people are. And that a lot of the time I'll get a text right back after the call's finished that, thank you so much. Here's my mailing address. Here's a donation. And I think it's really amazing that you're doing this with all the stuff that's going on, or I've been looking for something like this, and so it's so amazing you called. Um, and then, yeah, it's just been extremely successful. So to summarize, the steps are: step one, go down your contact list and call everybody. Even if you didn't really know them that well, give them a call, try it out. Step two is very important. You must get personal. Make sure you make a personal connection with them before going on to the book pitch. Step three is the book pitch, coronavirus book drive, short, concise presentation of Srila Prabhupada's books. Step four, you get their mailing address. Step five, you get their payment, whether it be Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, whatever it might be. Step six is you glove up, you mask up, and you go to the post office, and you ship them out all over the world. And that's it. So thank you for your time. All glories to the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Sankirtan Yagya. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Here's another one. Now, this is, I mentioned kids are calling. We have about 150 kids here at ISV who do book distribution normally, and they're really sad that they're not on the street. So when we introduced this thing about calling, they all got into it. And here's a sample from home of one of the kids who's contacted somebody and asked to do a presentation about the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a little shorter than one.
So let's say I opened it, and so basically this here, that's the translation. Everything else is there is the English, Sanskrit, and then
that's just a little sample. We have there are more videos like that, but lots of kids are getting really good success, as are the adults as well, as you can see from Bhakta Alex from New York. Packing book packages. Here's our Devavrata Prabhu in the Los Angeles book room. The packing is going on to ship the books out, which is all available right now. And here on the farm, at Prabhupada Village. I don't know if you all know this, but the devotees from the Yugadharma ashram in New York had to move out of New York. Prabhupada Village was kind enough to give them shelter. They said, come on over. So they got in a van, they packed up the truck, and they moved to Beverly Hills, that is. And there they are in shipping out tons of books. They're on the phone all day long, calling their contacts, calling new people. And this is just one shipment going out to the people they've contacted. They even got custom-sized boxes from from Uline, which is a first-class mail order company that will customize packaging for you. So they got the boxes they need to ship out what these devotees call the Saptarishi. It's 7 books that are packaged in one. So they're sending lots of sets of Bhagavatams, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is also these so-called Saptarishi sets. Here's devotees in Los Angeles, also joining the spirit of the marathon, packing up books there from the book room into their cars to go out and deliver to the post office and so forth. We call this contactless deliveries. You see the set of Bhagavatams there. If you missed it, it's right in front of the gate. So we don't make a personal contact when we deliver, but we'll let them know that it's there on the porch, just like the UPS people do now. They take a picture of it and they say, we've delivered it, it's right on your porch, please come and get it. All this is done with gloves and masks and everything like that, even if it's from the post office or if they're going door to door. Here's a few recipients. This is Carly in Maryland, who received a so-called Saptarishi set, which cost about $50. And then here is a devotee girl who bought a Krishna book. Here's a gentleman who bought the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. Here's one of our devotees. She and her husband are successful entrepreneurs, very successful. In fact, they have this cafe and cannery down in Monterey, and also they have a company, online company called Happy Girl, and it's a very popular, trendy place. And right now their cafe is closed, but they're sending out these tons of care packages to people. Each one of those boxes costs about $120, and it's full up with their homemade preserves, fresh made bread, all kinds of things, everything a rich person would need to be happy and stay alive at home. And they're doing hundreds of books. Every ship out they do, they put in books along with it. This ship out, you can see, went along with Higher Taste, the one on the left. Then there's Chant and Be Happy. They did Bhagavad Gitas and so forth. So innovations and packaging books together with ship outs. Team New York City, since the lockdown, has distributed 2,456 books and 86 sets of Bhagavatams, calling on the phone. We have Team ISV, 1,632 books, 39 sets of Bhagavatams. Team LA, 326 books, 18 sets of Bhagavatams to date. And of course, we're really pushing the Bhadra Purnima right now, because there are lots of leaders around the world, like sannyasis, guru types, who can contact thousands of people at one time, like their disciples and others, through Zoom calls, and remind people that we're working up to this date of September 2nd, Bhadra Purnima, during which we've arranged to have a Maha Fire Yagya at Naimisharanya. We'll be offering all the names of everyone who's distributed either to themselves or somebody else a full set of Srimad Bhagavatams. Our goal this year is at least 10,000 sets of Bhagavatams. Yeah, there it is, Bhadra, 10,000 sets. So here are some of the strategies for success. Connect with devotees, encouraging them to connect with their contacts. Organize online readings of Srimad Bhagavatam. These have been very successful, as I know most of you already know on this call. Promote the campaign in all of your online classes. Just bring it up at the beginning and the end that books are available to be shipped. Make campaign posts on all your social media channels. Visibility means the more you show, the more you sell. Send special campaign offer through your email newsletter. Tack it on there. It works. Organize Bhagavatam lecture series and promote the Bhadra campaign, and send a care package with details to participate in Bhadra 2020. Pick up the phone and call people on your contact list. As any of the GBCs on this call know, I sent out a couple of days ago a PowerPoint, short PowerPoint to the GBCs and ISKCON leaders around the world, asking them to send representatives from their particular zone, because we have one big global team that's meeting regularly, through which we're organizing this mass distribution of Bhagavatams worldwide. We have resources through our Bhadra campaign network. So when you get in touch, there's plenty of things for us to share and tools and so forth. Here's another program that's been very successful. It started before the lockdown, but now it's going great guns. It's called Bhagavat Seva, and we've expanded it from America to the UK. And now they're doing it in India also. After people buy a set of Bhagavatams, we offer them a service to check in twice a month to teach classes to their kids about Bhagavatam. And lots of people are eager for it. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, just a small sampling of kids locked in on a Zoom conference. Many of these are first-timers. Their parents just got the set of Bhagavatams, and now we have our teachers teaching them the Bhagavatam, and they actually pay for the service. They give a certain amount every month in order to be have their kids enrolled in these classes. We're also getting sets sponsored. Over the last couple of weeks, we've gotten 22 sets sponsored for distribution. And here's another program. This is going on. One of the primary ways they're testing out the internet market in Toronto is sending care packages. They saw this church, New Jersey church, sparks movement after sending care packages to member with coronavirus. And now they've ramped it up, and they're sending thousands of these care packages out to people everywhere. Convoy of Hope. And so these are some of the benefits that the devotees in Toronto are expecting, and what they put in their care package. A letter from the temple president with prayers, a small book, temple restaurant gift coupon, an invitation to learn more about Srimad Bhagavatam, labeled the Ambassadors of Goodwill. And so they've been working to, as you can see, package up these little care gifts, and they're sending them out to all their lists. And it's a time when you really get noticed when you send somebody something like this. Here's a look of what's inside their care package. Team Toronto, in the last couple of weeks, has sent out 1,200 care packages. Now, here comes another big topic, but before I go into it, which is going to be ebooks, and we've had dozens of meetings organizing through the BBT and everybody else who's working with the medium of ebooks. Anyway, I'll go into that in a second, but I just want to see if there's any questions or reflections before I finish this last part of the presentation.
I got a couple questions.
Yes, Maharaj?
How do we get I'm thinking of option A, option B. Because all they've recently opened some farmers markets here in San Diego. So we've had some devotees go to the farmers markets with tables, and it's slow, but it's something, and they're learning how to do it. But I'm wondering about, can we get a copy of this presentation so I can send it to temple presidents and devotees? Or even better, is there a time that they can check in with you? Are you doing a presentation like this that I can get the temple presidents, Sankirtan devotees I work with to, zoom in and hear from you this presentation? Either they can get it themselves, or is there a way they can hear you give it?
Balaji Prabhu, are you recording the call?
Yes, it's being recorded.
There you go. we'll have a recording right afterwards of everything I'm presenting, so you can send it
along with a slideshow, so it won't be funky, so that they can actually.
Yeah, the slideshow will be there also. It's a video actually that's recording, and also this whole video and anything updated will be there on distributebooks.com. That site is active and working, and
because this is very good news.
okay, good. We like good news. Any other questions, comments?
What about, is there a list of online programs? Because you were saying in the little package or whatever, and we do want to promote those, but all I've got is kind of a random list. So do you have is there a good list that you can recommend to us?
Yeah, well, let me finish the presentation. Maybe that will be answered before we get done. And then at the end, I'll take a couple more questions.
Okay.
Any other reflections or questions?
Yeah, well, I just want to be sure that the PowerPoint and the recording are available, and I could put it on to temple presidents across North America.
Yay. Okay, good.
I want to get a copy that I can push around too.
You will get. Just
Just now coming.
Vaisesika Prabhu, the list you said, the thing that you sent out to the GBCs, was that sent out on the North American group or?
No, I sent it out to the international group, but I'll give it to Coledry today.
Thank you, Prabhu.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I was going to ask, we've got about a dozen temples from my areas that we have a call every week at 4:30 on Saturday since the Corona thing hit.
Yeah.
You think it's better if we just send them the slide, or would you possibly be available to join us for 15?
Yeah, well, I could either do it or I can have one of our people. We've got first-class trainers who have traveled all over the world and do, their own training and book distribution. I can arrange for somebody to be on there with you.
That would be really good because, if I just send them and say, here's the PowerPoint and whatever I've understood, it's not going to carry the same potency of either yourself or somebody.
Oh, I doubt that. Everything you touch turns to gold, Anutama. But in any case, any requests or anything you want, just send to me and I'll make sure that you get it right away.
Okay, great.
Any last things before I move on?
Well, if everything Anutama touches turns to gold, I'd like him to send me a few letters.
I'll send you some boxes of bricks. How's that?
Okay, last call for questions. Okay, here we go. Ebooks. Now, this is something that's been sitting on the sideline for a long time. However, one thing that hasn't been sitting on the sideline is the BBT's work on ebooks, which is remarkable. There is a group of BBT dedicated servants who have been working for decades with the BBT, like Hari Krishna Das, Kaishori, and others who are behind the scenes, who have been diligently rendering all of Prabhupada's books into really first-class ebooks. So, however, when we first started having meetings with them about 3.5 weeks ago, they said, there's been no market for it except a straggler here or there on Amazon that just happens to, pick up a book on Amazon.com. So we started a think tank to figure out how to get these ebooks weaponized so we can get them out there. And it's taken a lot of coordination, but fortunately the basic work has been done by these diligent devotees behind the scenes as far as producing them. We had to repackage them. We had to reprice them. We're putting them on the newsletter, the World Sankirtan newsletter. So when you sell a set, for instance, of Bhagavatams, you get the same number of points. And we're urging everybody to keep the prices around the same. Don't undercut here and there because it doesn't do well for the whole country. We did that also in India, which took a lot of work from our India team, which was to get everyone to agree during Bhadra Purnima to not start dumping in the market like China does in the steel market in America. So we're ready to go with this beta version, and we just rolled it out last weekend, selling ebooks on the internet. And here's a few points about it. So it's available on Amazon Kindle. The reason that it's right now available there is because it's really unwieldy to have your own method to download a lot of these things. People are used to getting a book version downloaded in about 3 seconds. And so we're keeping, for now, although we're working on a workaround, the downloads coming through Amazon Kindle. And okay, so 3 steps. The temple buys ebook gift codes from Amazon. This is all completely legitimate. And we've done all the research, crossed all the T's and dotted the I's. There's a way in which they sell wholesale to the people who present books to them. And then we can buy back the codes. Then we are able to distribute those individual codes, distributing books and services for donations online. And then we send the code and other supporting services. So that's kind of a simplified version of it, but the fact is that we've worked it out. So for now, we're testing it out. For instance, let's just say you want to get codes from the BBT for like 100 sets of Bhagavatams, e-Bhagavatams. And now you can get those individualized codes, and then you can start selling them online or packaging them with the hardback books when you sell those.
What would, for example, what would 100 sets of Bhagavatams cost? These codes?
I think that we're getting them first and then paying them later, and as we go. But I'll have to check on that. I think we're paying somewhere like, I don't know for sure. So if you could jot these questions down, because I don't have a secretary right now watching this, and let me know, then I'll answer all these questions and get them back to you. I actually just finished this PowerPoint about 2 seconds before I got on here. So I don't know everything that's here. Our team's been working overnight to get this together. So ebook bundle packages, and every question you can ask to probe and find gaps, we really appreciate, because that's what we're trying to do now, is fail forward fast. Get paper books set free alongside ebooks. These are some of the ways we're doing it. And by the way, in case you didn't know, it's something Europe's been doing for a long time. As an example, here's a European Bhagavad Gita. And on the back of every book in Europe, they have this little code, which you can see here at the bottom. Sorry for the virtual background there. Includes code for free ebook editions. So every time somebody buys a book, sorry if you can't see that, but it's there. There's the e-code. So you can also do that when you're presenting and you say, you get a set of Bhagavatams, and we can also give you the ebook that goes with it. Get 3 months free subscription to Bhakti Community. So we set up Bhakti Community just recently as a way to follow through with people that we're meeting. And if anybody wants to use it, it's open. Of course, we realize that everybody likes to do their own thing and, not centralize things too much. But we do have profit sharing for this, for anybody who sends people through the Bhakti Community, to encourage people to use one source, or we can show you how to set it up in your own community. And I'll get to that in 1 second, the Bhakti Community Program. Get 2 months free Bhagavat Seva classes for your kids. So these are just examples of the way when you call up to present, it's not just the book, it's not just the ebook, but it's also a package, what we call a suite of services that we're offering to people. So they get the book, and then they develop a relationship with us here at ISKCON. And this is what we've been waiting for, is an opportunity to give our full attention to this. So it's not just first contact and then drop them. So here's Bhakti Community. We've set this up over the last couple of weeks, branded, and we have a working model that we're rolling out this weekend. So Bhakti Community has a beginning Bhakti, a simple exclusive course designed to tell you everything you need to know about what Bhakti Yoga is, how to immediately implement the practices of devotional yoga for greater health and happiness. Then we have a couple of podcasts.
Wait. How does that beginning Bhakti course look? Like,
I'll show you. We're getting there.
Okay.
As you would usually say. I learned that from you. Bhakti On is a brand new podcast dedicated to exploring the timeless texts of Bhakti Yoga. So they can subscribe to that. And Sadhana On. So Bhakti On is more for the new audience. It's more for people who are spiritually inclined, but they don't know Hare Krishna. They don't know the lingo. They don't know this from that. It's very genericized. Then we have Sadhana On, a sister podcast devoted to the art and practice of bhakti in everyday life, including stories, conversations, and practical steps to bhakti. Then here's a look at the bhakti community. The branding is very westernized. And here's a short video. I'll cut it off if it's too long for you. You all ready for this?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Register there at www.bhakti.community.com.
That's really well done.
Really thank you very much. So yeah, we're collaborating with several, mainstream teachers who are getting good results online to, transform the language. So we're using, words that are non-triggering to people and stuff like that for the Bhakti community kind of stuff. So we're launching this weekend here at ISV, and we're extending out to a few of the other temples that we've been working with around North America and the UK and so forth to just test it out. So that the point is, when we're offering books to people, we're not just offering the books, we're offering an entire lifestyle and a support system. Because what we found is when, for instance, somebody's got to mute, please. If you're not talking, please mute. What we're finding is even influencers like Shivaram Maharaj, I've been in touch with Radha Damodar, who sets up all his videos, said the problem is once we get people to watch these videos, what do they do next? So we've been working on the back end so that when they get a book, it's just the beginning. There's always got to be the next thing. What's the next thing that we're bringing them into on their path? So, and it's got to match their psychophysiological nature. Okay, so idea seeds, a life-changing journey through ancient wisdom, become the person you want to be. Here's UK. UK's doing their own kind of thing. We're working in collaboration with some of these other places, and this is their brand that they're presenting. And they're launching a meditation care package for frontline workers. Never waste a good crisis, Winston Churchill. This is the time, and it's a short window because this thing's going to close very soon, within the next 5 months or something like that. This huge opportunity that we have to really take advantage of what we've always wanted to do, which is to have this world-class presentation to bring people closer to Krishna consciousness and keep them. Just a couple of notes. Mind Valley, which is a spiritual organization that works online and giving classes and so forth. They make $30 million a month, $30 million a month presenting classes, podcasts, and so forth that caters to various spiritual ideals that people are looking for. Jay Shetty, millions of dollars he's making every month or every year. He's in the millions. He has a Facebook and a few things. We've emulated what Mind Valley Jay Shetty has done. And even in ISKCON, there are a few pioneers like Kaustubha Prabhu in New York, along with Raghunath. They do a daily Bhagavatam class that really exploded when they got on the Joe Rogan show. And now they have about 9,000 people attending their Bhagavatam class every morning. And it's just straightforward Bhagavatam, but now they've made it into also, there's a paid section where people can come and be part of the Bhakti community. And they're just from their initial, foray into this, if a foray and an initial, I don't know if that's redundant, but the fact is that they've been doing it for a few months, the paid section, and already they're generating about $2,500 a month, just from people paying anywhere from $1 up to whatever they want to give as a donation, but it's a paid service that is part of what they're presenting as paid. And we're doing the same thing. We have a section that we offer people when they come in. We ask them to give at least $1 so they have some skin in the game and it's not just a free service. So never waste a good crisis. How is this pandemic Krishna's arrangement? Take advantage now of this unique opportunity for internet, digital presence and capabilities. It's worth pouring money into. Here at ISV, we're spending tens of thousands of dollars right now to ramp up everything that we have to take advantage of this. And many other places are too. UK Bhadra goals. Here are some of the goals that have been set so far by the various centers. I guess this is for UK. And again, fail forward fast. We don't have any time to lose on this. This is our golden opportunity to take advantage. Om Tat Sat. Any last questions or comments?
Well, you said Bhakti, what is it? Bhakti